Hi everyone, thank you again for joining me on the professional and learning development series that I created. This is part 4, which is preparing for an interview. These are just some general guidelines. I did look at a couple research articles available online, as well as from my own experience. So I hope you will benefit from this presentation. So I've been to a lot of interviews in the past, and I think one of the key aspects here is to do your research. So it's really important to know the company that you are applying to. I mean, sometimes we think about it as just a job, but at the same time, if you do want to progress on to the next stages of the interview, or let's say you're not successful in the interview, you want to be able to show that you're capable of doing the job, and researching is a key aspect regardless of the position that you do choose to apply into. So some things that you want to keep in mind is their values, their goals, where they see themselves perhaps in the next 10 years or where they want to go, current news available, which is, either it'll be on their social media pages, or it'll be on Google. And then you want to be able to review the job posting once again and articulate in 3 or less sentences how you'll bring value to their team. So this is really important because one of the very first questions that they'll likely ask you is, why do you want to work here? Or how do your skills fit into this position? Something around the lines or tell us a bit about yourself. So articulating that and perhaps practicing it in your room with a friend, with a colleague is really important. Okay, and then the other thing is to review your qualifications. So we all come from different backgrounds, we all have various experiences, but it's vital that you actually take a step back, look at your projects that you've worked on, quantify those results and the actions that you took in order for it to become successful. The next thing is to stay calm. I think it's, we all get really anxious before the day of the interview. There's some pre-interview stresses, if you will. So it's really important to try and get a good night's sleep before the day of the interview. We all have other time commitments, so this may not always be possible, but it's important that we try. And then now, because of what's happening around the world due to COVID-19, if you are meeting in a virtual setting, try to arrive 5 minutes, check your camera, the microphone setting. There are different settings if you use, when I go for an interview, I use my wireless headphones, just because the microphone is a little bit better on that, and I do have access to move around. Not that you should be moving around, you should be sitting in your seat. And then if you are arriving in a physical office, make sure you have your mask ready, if that's their regulations, which I believe right now is Calgary by law, Alberta law. And then come at least 5 to 10 minutes prior to that meeting. And this is not a requirement, but if you find it better to have a resume on hand, maybe you shouldn't look down at the interview and read exactly from the resume, but if you want to glance every now and then, I think that's okay. And if that helps, then definitely have a resume on hand. Okay, so now it's the end of the interview. It's really important that you relax and breathe. It's not the end of the world. You should honestly be proud of yourself that you actually completed it. I know there have been a couple of interviews where I've definitely ruined just because I've been so anxious and stressed out. So just relax. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. You completed it. You did it. That's it. If you really had a good experience, send a personalized thank you note if they gave you your business card or if you have their email address. I've done this actually a couple times, and I've received positive responses to that. And then talk about it with a friend, with a family member, colleague, preferably somebody who obviously won't tell the current company if you do work. Yeah, just talk to somebody about it, and then also find another activity that you can keep yourself occupied with. It can be a really daunting experience, especially since you're the interviewee, which puts you at a very vulnerable situation, which I can definitely relate to. But at the same time, worrying about it is honestly just not going to do any good. And at the end of the day, you completed it, you did it, so kudos to you for doing that. So that completes the end of this video. This was the Preparing for an Interview General Guidelines. I am available on LinkedIn if anybody wants to chat or have any questions about this presentation. Alright, so thank you so much for watching.